Now, Lisa Cook, she has a property in Cambridge, Massachusetts. This is a property that she has represented as her second home, even though it turns out she rents it out. She also misrepresented a property she owns in Atlanta, Georgia, saying it was her residence, even though she is renting it out to tenants. And there's a funny video where an investigative reporter goes to one of these homes, which is supposedly where Lisa Cook lives. He looks in the window and he sees a white guy. Now, Lisa Cook is black. Not only is she black, but she's not even married. So he knocks on the door and a voice goes, "Who is it?" And the guy goes, "Well, I'm a journalist. I'm trying to talk to Lisa Cook. I believe she lives here." And then the guy becomes extremely uncomfortable and says, "I don't really want to talk about it." Well, clearly Lisa Cook does not live there. This is kind of smoking gun proof that this property is rented out. Somebody else is living there. So it looks pretty obvious that this is a case where there has been some misrepresentation. Lisa Cook, interestingly enough, doesn't even really deny it. Trump has fired her for cause. Trump, by the way, can't remove governors of the Federal Reserve except for cause. But having 3 separate instances of alleged mortgage fraud really does offer plenty of, quote, cause. Now, there's a legitimate argument about the independence of the Federal Reserve, and this is the basis on which Lisa Cook seems to be fighting this. She seems to be saying, listen, Trump, you stay out of this. This has nothing to do with you if there's mortgage fraud or if it's just a clerical error. And let's think about it. Is it really reasonable that this is some kind of, quote, clerical error? It's like basically saying, you know, I'm at the Justice Department as a prosecutor. I made a series of legal errors. Really, you're a lawyer. You're serving in a very high position, and this is related to your field. Think about it. The credibility of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve oversees banks. One of the primary things that banks do is they do mortgages. They do mortgage lending. And the Federal Reserve is constantly emphasizing to banks the need for accuracy in mortgage lending applications. Now, how can you credibly do this when one of your own governors, Lisa Cook, is basically fudging and faking and giving false information on her mortgage applications? By the way, not accidentally, but all to benefit you. You know, one way you can tell if something is fraud or if something is done with intent is simply to look and see if the ball always falls on the same side of the net. So let's say you make errors on your taxes, but guess what? Some of those errors benefit you. Other errors benefit the government. You end up paying too much because guess what? You're just sloppy with numbers and you make mistakes. But let's say you make a series of mistakes on your taxes and all those mistakes benefit you. Then it's quite clear that these aren't, quote, mistakes. You are taking advantage of things. You are trying to fudge in your favor. And that's clearly what's going on here. So is it Trump's job to fire Lisa Cook? I think it is. I think ultimately Trump will be vindicated in court on this one. But let's say you take the opposite position. No, it's not Trump's job to fire her. That should be done by Jerome Powell. Well, my point is, why hasn't it? I'm looking right here at the Federal Reserve website. And on the Federal Reserve website, it lists Board of Governors, and there it is, Lisa Cook. And so Jerome Powell is clearly keeping her on. He is letting the process play itself out. Now, there are some people who say, well, you know, innocent until proven guilty. We shouldn't rush to judgment. We should give someone the benefit of the doubt. And that does, by the way, apply to the legal process. So nothing I say is a denial of the principle of innocent until proven guilty. But very often in a sensitive job position, when you are credibly accused of an offense, it is proper that you step out, you step down, you resign. Now, maybe if you're vindicated, you're reappointed and you come back. But in this case, it seems pretty clear that there is some hanky-panky that appears to have gone on. So you have a constitutional right to a presumption of innocence, but you don't have a constitutional right to remain as a governor of the Federal Reserve. I think that Jerome Powell would do better to take action himself. That would put the matter to rest. He clearly has the authority to fire her. He's her boss. But then, of course, Trump is also the Federal Reserve. You just have to look up a governmental chart. They are an agency that is part of the executive branch of the government. So they are ultimately answerable to Trump. And so using his discretion as president, he has fired Lisa Cook for cause. And I think he will be vindicated in that judgment. You know, when the cultural tide turns against truth, it becomes more important than ever to support the storytellers who are willing to stand for it. And this is what Angel is doing. They're not just producing entertainment, they're giving a home to stories that reflect the principles this country was founded on: faith, family, and freedom. They've released films like Sound of Freedom, which expose the modern-day reality of child trafficking when Hollywood refused to touch it. They're backing projects like The Last Rodeo and Green and Gold, stories that celebrate middle America, sacrifice, and generational legacy. Angel doesn't answer to Hollywood gatekeepers. They answer to their members, and that's where the Angel Guild comes in. Guild members vote on which projects move forward. They help support the stories that deserve to be told, and they're proving that when ordinary people unite behind truth, extraordinary things happen. You can join the movement. How do you do it? Go to angel.com/Dinesh. Join the Angel Guild today. Support films that reflect your values. Angel.com/Dinesh.